Hello and welcome to another coffee bean review for www.getbeaned.com. I'm the Mean Bean Machine, and today we're looking at Blak Nektar's Stowaway Espresso blend. Now, Blak Nektar is not a brand I've particularly heard of before, a roaster I've heard of before, and I've actually picked up this blend from Minor Figures. Now, for those of you who don't know, Minor Figures kind of do oat milk and coffees, specialising in oat milk. So they do oat milk cold brews that we've reviewed before, and they do their own espresso coffee. But they also have a thing called the roaster roster, where they get various different coffees from all over the place and kind of show off these other roasters. And Blak Nektar was recently on there. Now, I actually didn't buy this bag of beans. I bought the method beans from them. That was £8 for 250 grams. Unfortunately for me, they were out of stock. And so I've actually been sent the Blak Nektar 500 gram beans, which are more expensive, as as an alternative. Which I'm more than happy with. But I've never tried it, never heard of them, so I'm very interested in them. Now, a little bit of research about them tells me they're based in Glasgow, on the south side of Glasgow, which is great. I love Glasgow, it's a beautiful city, and it's also got quite a good coffee scene. I don't know a lot about the Scottish coffee scene, but I believe Edinburgh is kind of the place to go, as far as I'm aware. But Glasgow has a really good coffee scene, actually. There's quite a few places I'd gladly bounce around for a couple of hours, and have done, in Glasgow. So I'm surprised I haven't heard of Blak Nektar, but this is the first time I've heard of Blak Nektar. And I've got 500 grams of their beans. So this blend, it is an espresso blend, comes from Brazil and Guatemala. The beans are from Brazil and Guatemala. Now, the tasting notes at the bottom are very odd. They say wine, buttery, fruit, marmalade, toast. I've never heard of coffee saying kind of wine or toast, which is very strange. Buttery is something that would appeal to me. I do like a creamier drink, which may suggest it works well as a more milky drink, as well as just an espresso on its own. This is specifically an espresso blend, as you can see there on the pack. So we'll give it a go and see what we think. So you can see there, that's the shot I've got. We'll give it a sniff. Oh, it's got quite a woody smell to it when you smell it. I must say it's got an almost kind of oakiness to it when you open it up. There's this kind of really rich woody smell, which is not often you get that with coffee, but that kind of carries through into the espresso shot, which is interesting. So we'll give this a taste and see how it kind of goes. Yeah, I can see what they mean by the wine note. In terms of there's a richness to it, and there's kind of a full body. It's like a red wine in terms of, obviously there's no alcohol in it, so it's not got that alcoholic taste to it, but there is that sort of bodiness and that kind of darkness on the tongue that you can kind of match the two up, and you go, all right, I see that. In terms of the other flavours, I'm not necessarily getting them, which is interesting because they may come out more with milk. So wine, toast maybe, if you burnt it. And fruit and marmalade, I'm just not getting. But I see the wine, which is strange because it's not a flavour tasting note I've ever heard before, and yet I understand it. I'm going to add some oat milk into that and see how it goes. But yeah, so it's quite dark and rich, but it's not kind of really strong and heavy. So I guess that's why it's more of a tasting note rather than kind of mentions a full body. Yeah, what a confusing. I'm struggling to describe that. But yeah, dark, rich, and kind of woody is how I describe it. Like I say, we'll add some oat milk into the mix and see how it goes from there. So I've just thrown some oat milk into the mix, so we'll give it a go as kind of an oat latte and see if any of those kind of that creamy butteriness comes out. This whole kind of branding is very interesting because Blak Nektar, the way they've spelt it, Nektar, Blak Nektar, it's sort of, to my mind, and this may just be me, but my mind instantly goes to kind of heroin, you know, black tar heroin and that kind of strange branding. So that's strange branding for me. Others may be less kind of criminal in their thinking, so it may not be the instant association. But it's an odd one because it's, like I say, it's Glaswegian, which is a city I know relatively well. I've got friends there and I visit, you know, usually once a year, maybe a couple of times a year. So I'm surprised I've not heard of it. But like I say, I got this bag from Minor Figures, minorfigures.com. Now I got it for £8 for 500 grams, but it is actually £15 for 500 grams of this on minorfigures.com, which £15 500 grams is not bad. That's about what I would expect to be paying, maybe a quid or two less, but that's about right to my mind for specialty coffee. And the fact is that they do try and kind of ethically source, or, you know, source sustainable coffees, sustainably grown coffees. So I don't mind paying a bit extra if that effort has been put in. So it's an interesting setup. So we'll give it a go as a milky drink and see how this goes down. I am very confused with what I'm tasting. It's not a particularly strong coffee. That's what I'll say. There is a wineness to it. The buttery comes out more with the milk, I think. I think the butteriness, there is a creaminess to it, I'll give you that. I'm still not getting kind of fruit or marmalade, and toast. Again, surely the overwhelming thing about toast is either butter, in which case you've got the buttery anyway, or the texture. There is no real flavour to toast. So I find that a strange, I'm really confused. There's a creaminess and the winey notes I can get there, so I guess you've got fruit in that sense. But it's I really am struggling to put my finger on it. I really like that as a coffee. That being said, it's a really mild espresso shot that you can just kind of, even if you're not an espresso drinker, you drink that and go, oh, that's a nice black coffee. You add kind of milk to it, and oat milk in these circumstances, and the creaminess and the butteriness does really come out. So yeah, those are definitely there, but it's just not a strong coffee, which again, the branding, the Blak Nektar really to me suggests kind of strong black coffee. And again, that's branding, that's nothing to do with, you know, that's just where my mind goes with it. So it's an interesting thing. Now it tells you a little bit about the coffee on the back. A pre-blend of 2 toasty sweet Brazilians, post-blended with a rich fruity Guatemala. So there's 2 Brazilian beans in there. Syrupy mouthfeel, yes, I suppose, and buttery body. There's not a lot of body to it. Stunning in tight shots with small volumes of milk. Maybe that's where I've gone wrong. I've put quite a lot of milk in there. A natural yellow bourbon variety from Brazil. Really interesting, and I can say I do thoroughly enjoy that, actually. Would recommend. But yeah, those tasting notes have kind of thrown me for 6. But I can, yeah, the more you dwell on it, the more you see where the reason has come from. So yeah, a really nice coffee, but it's one you definitely have to try to kind of put your finger on. So yeah, thank you for watching another video. Do like and subscribe, click those buttons for us, and check us out at www.getbean.com for more coffee news and reviews, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you very much. Bye bye.